Lep pozdrav, dober dan in dobrodošli na 16. festivalu Kino Otok Izola Cinema in seveda še posebej dobrodošli na programu Pro Otok, ki ga namenjamo filmskim profesionalcem, filmskim ustvarjalcem in vsem drugim poklicem, ki se ukvarjamo za promocijo, prikazovanjem, distribucijo filma in tako naprej. Danes smo se srečali na dogodku z naslovom Inovativni modeli sodelovanja mednarodnih filmskih festivalov. Govorili bomo torej o tistem, kar je nekako vsem festivalom, še posebej mednarodnim, seveda zelo domače, zelo nujno, se pravi sodelovanje, ampak ta nekak twist današnjega dne je ta, da bomo govorili o sodelovanju kot o strategiji razvoja posameznih festivalov in seveda razvoja celotne scene. Program današnjega dogodka je sestavljen iz dveh delov in sicer v prvem delu govorimo o uvodu v mednarodno povezovanje. Z nami bosta Maša Ekar iz Motovile in Centra ustvarjalne Evropa v Sloveniji in Mario Benkoč iz Europe Direct v sodelovanju s Pino iz Kopra. Potem pa sledi ta predstavitvi in pogovora z dvema tujima gostjama, ki žal danes niste tukaj z nami, ampak sta z nami preko Zooma, in sicer z Diano Tabakov, ki je izvršna direktorica mednarodne mreže festivalov dokumentarnega filma Doc Alliance in tudi platforme Da Films, in Doris Bauer, ki je ko-direktor, se pravi ena od dveh direktorjev festivala Vienna Shorts. Prvi del predstavitve bo potekal v slovenskem jeziku, potem preklopimo na angleščino in v tem trenutku tudi jaz preklapljam na angleščino, da za začetek na kratko pozdravimo naši gosti. So, hello, welcome to the 16th Kino Otok Izola Cinema Film Festival, and of course, especially welcome to the Pro Otok program, which we devote to film professionals from Slovenia and abroad. And today we met here to talk about cooperation between international film festivals, but also other producers in the cultural sector. And in the second part of this presentation, we will have a pleasure to listen to the talks and then the opportunity to ask questions to two very splendid, great guests. One is Diana Tabakov, who is Executive Director of Da Films platform, and which is part of Doc Alliance Film Festivals Network. And we have Doris Bauer, who is co-director of Vienna Shorts. Both ladies were, of course, planned to be with us in Isola for the 16th Kino Otok in person, live. The circumstances sadly prevented us to realize that, but we are still very grateful and honored to have you with us today. And we are, of course, looking forward to another opportunity to meet you in person as well. So, Doris and Diana, if you would say a quick hello from your respective places.
Hi everyone, I'll switch on the light for a while. Yeah, this is me. Maybe you didn't see me before. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I look forward to talking more later about a version of our cooperation with our documentary film festivals. And hopefully I will be capable of doing this because I'm on vacation on the Croatian island of Vis, and it's very beautiful here, and I'm thinking of staying forever. So see you later.
Hi, from my side as well. I'm Doris from Vienna, Vienna Shorts Festival. I'm so sorry that I cannot be with you in Isola, but I really, really hope to get there next year. So let's hope for Kino Otok, the 7th edition. And yeah, I'm looking forward for the presentation of Diana, and I hope for a good discussion with you afterwards. I will talk a bit about our international networks and all the stuff we do. So hopefully I'll see you later and talk with you.
Okay, so thank you very much for tuning in and being with us, even if it's an online opportunity to meet each other. Okay, so I will now switch to Slovenian, as I announced. Don't be afraid, everything is good. Tako da nadaljujemo v slovenščini. Kot sem napovedala že na začetku, Maša in Mario nakratko predstavljata priložnosti za mednarodno sodelovanje v okviru programa Ustvarjalna Evropa in v okviru pisarne Europe Direct. Tako da v tem trenutku vabim Mašo, da se pridruži na odru, ampak jaz se bom odmaknila pravočasno, tako da bomo obdržali fizično distanco.
Lep pozdrav vsi skupaj. Samo trenutek. Torej, moje ime je Maša Ečer, sem predstavnica Motovile, Centra za spodbujanje sodelovanja v kulturnih in ustvarjalnih sektorjih. Današnji dogodek organiziramo v sodelovanju z zavodom Otok, festivalom Izola Cinema. Ob podpori Centra za kreativnost, ki deluje v okviru Muzeja za arhitekturo in oblikovanje in v okviru projekta ProKus s podporo Ministrstva za javno upravo, v katerem smo partnerji skupaj z zavodom Otok in zavodom Kino Atelje. Jaz bom nakratko predstavila program Evropske unije za kulturo, film in ustvarjalne sektorje, Ustvarjalna Evropa. Preden pa grem na res kratko predstavitev programa, kdo smo tisti, ki nas ne poznate. Smo nevladna organizacija z ekipo, ki ima res dolgoletne izkušnje pri svetovanju in podpori organizacijam za mednarodno kulturno sodelovanje. Informiramo in svetujemo ob prijavah na razpise, kako iskati partnerje, poskušamo povezovati organizacije, organiziramo različna strokovna usposabljanja na različne teme, ki so pomembne, podobno kot danes, in pa promoviramo organizacije in projekte doma in v tujini. Ena naših najbolj pomembnih aktivnosti pa je izvajanje informacijske pisarne Center Ustvarjalna Evropa v Sloveniji. To je nacionalna informacijska pisarna za program Evropske unije za podporo kulturnim in ustvarjalnim sektorjem. Center Ustvarjalna Evropa v Sloveniji je eden izmed več kot 40 centrov v Evropi in izven, ki delujejo v državah članicah programa. Trenutni program Ustvarjalna Evropa je 7-letni program, ki se izteče od leta 2014 do 2020 poteka, ampak že pričakujemo sprejem novega programa, ki bo veljal od leta 2021 do 2027 in ponujal podobne priložnosti kot trenutni program. Program Evropske unije je nadnacionalni in centraliziran program in je razdeljen na 3 sklope. Podprogram Kultura, ki podpira vse sektorje, razen audiovizualnih, podprogram Medija in medsektorski sklop, ki povezuje oba podprograma. Podprogram Medija podpira razvoj različnih evropskih filmov, televizijskih programov in videoiger, podpira distribucijo in promocijo evropskih filmov in pa podpira festivale in kinematografske mreže z namenom profesionalizacije in dostopanja občinstv do filmov. Splošna cilja programa Ustvarjalna Evropa je varovanje in spodbujanje evropske kulturne in jezikovne raznolikosti in kulturne dediščine ter krepitev konkurenčnosti kulturnih in ustvarjalnih sektorjev skladno z strategijo Evropa 2020. Posebna cilja programa pa sta še podpiranje zmogljivosti kulturnih in ustvarjalnih sektorjev za mednarodno sodelovanje in pa spodbujanje nadnacionalne mobilnosti akterjev in kroženje del z namenom doseganja novih in širših občinstev in dostopa do del. Pomembna je nadnacionalno sodelovanje in tako imenovana evropska dodana vrednost. Kdo sploh izvaja program? Program v bistvu se izvaja na 3 ravneh. Evropska komisija v bistvu pripravi strategijo in razvija program, vrši nadzor nad izvajanjem programa in izvaja nekatere aktivnosti, kot so Evropska prestolnica kulture in nekatere nagrade Evropske unije, naprimer Europa Nostra, nagrada za evropsko književnost, za arhitekturo, izvaja različne študije in pa promocijske aktivnosti na evropski ravni. Izvajalska agencija EACA je pa odgovorna za izvajanje večine razpisnih aktivnosti, od razpisnega postopka do izbora projektov in financiranja projektov. Centri ustvarjalne Evrope, se pravi to, kar delamo mi, mreža centrov, CED, Creative Europe Desk, pa smo na nacionalni ravni tisti, ki vam pomagamo pri pripravi razpisov, pri informacijah o tem, da razpisi sploh so, kateri so primerni in vas vodimo skozi te postopke. V programu lahko sodelujejo organizacije, ne posamezniki, in sicer organizacije, ki delujejo v kulturnih in ustvarjalnih sektorjih, bodisi so to javne ali zasebne organizacije. Pri večini razpisov velja, da mora biti vodilna organizacija pravna oseba, ki obstaja vsaj 2 leti in imajo sedež v državah članicah Evropske unije. Poleg tega pa v programu sodelujejo tudi države, ki so podpisale sporazum z Evropsko unijo o sodelovanju in vse te države sodelujejo v podprogramu kultura, ne sodelujejo pa vse države v podprogramu medija. Podpirajo se projekti, ki izkazujejo nadnacionalni program, tako imenovano evropsko razsežnost in domet projekta, ki podpirajo in vključujejo mednarodno sodelovanje in pa izkazujejo izkušnje in kompetence na področju, na katerega se prijavljajo. Torej, ljubiteljski projekti niso upravičeni, še posebej pa to velja za področje filma. Katerikoli razpis se prijavljate, pa morate vedno izkazovati kakovost in ustreznost vsebine in dejavnosti, ki jo prijavljate, razmisliti in pripraviti promocijo in razširjanje, strategijo za promocijo in razširjanje rezultatov in aktivnosti, razmišljati o kakovosti partnerstva, partnerskih organizacij oziroma projektne ekipe. Tudi v podprogramu medija vedno bolj velja, da se morajo organizacije povezovati v koprodukcije, v različne mreže, s katerimi se lahko partnersko prijavijo na razpise. To bo še bolj veljalo v naslednjem programskem obdobju. Vedno morate pa razmišljati tudi o učinkih projektnih aktivnostih in trajnost rezultatov. Od leta 2014 je v programu Evropske unije Ustvarjalna Evropa sodelovalo že več kot 120 slovenskih organizacij. To so številke za obdobje od leta 2014 do 2019, za leto 2020 še zbiramo podatke, ker še ni vseh rezultatov. V tem obdobju 6 let so slovenske organizacije pridobile že več kot 21 milijonov evrov podpore EU. Pri čemer gre za program, ki je zelo majhen, nudi relativno majhne podpore in v bistvu pomeni kar velik uspeh na evropski ravni. Trenutno ni odprtih razpisov več v okviru trajajočega programa Ustvarjalna Evropa, bo pa tudi v prihodnosti se podpiralo evropske filmske festivale, ki so namenjeni povečanju učinka in profesionalizaciji, na katerega se lahko prijavljajo organizacije, ki organizirajo audiovizualne festivale in prikazujejo vsaj 70% evropskih filmov. Komisija na letni ravni podpre med 60 in 70 evropskih festivalov, za prijavo pa sta možna običajno 2 roka, kot primer eden je bil aprila in eden decembra lani. Za letošnjo edicijo festivala je prejel podporo tudi zavod Otok za letošnji festival Kino Otok. Med uspešnimi so pa tako tisti, ki pritegnejo bodisi številna mednarodna občinstva, kot tudi butični festivali. Drugi sklop aktivnosti oziroma ki jih podpira podprogram Medija, je podpora za razvoj posameznih ali skupine projektov. Sicer upravičene dejavnosti so razvoj vsebine igranih, ustvarjalnih, dokumentarnih ali animiranih filmov, ki so namenjeni mednarodnemu kinematografskemu, televizijskemu ali komercialnemu digitalnemu prikazovanju. Upravičene dejavnosti so pisanje scenarija, raziskave, iskanje partnerjev, ključnih sodelavcev, predstavljanje projekta na mednarodnih trgih, udeležba na programih usposabljanja, razvojno osebje, različna zavarovanja. Prijavijo pa se lahko izključno izkušene produkcijske hiše, ki so s predhodnimi mednarodnimi referencami izkazale sposobnost izvedbe projekta. Podporo na tem razpisu so recimo dobile za razvoj filma Ne pozabi dihati, zgodbe iz kostanjevih gozdov, tudi filmi, ki se prikazujejo na kinu Otok, recimo Medena dežela. Naslednji razpis, ki bo na voljo tudi v prihodnem programu, je tako imenovan razvoj skupine projektov. V tej kategoriji so bile slovenske organizacije letos zelo uspešne, saj se je prvič zgodilo, da so v bistvu 3 prijavljale in vse 3 bile uspešne. Gre za izjemno konkurenčen razpis Evropske unije, na katerem mora prijavitelj poleg prepričljive filmske zgodbe dokazati tudi zmožnost sočasnega razvoja 3 do 5 projektov, imeti zavidljive mednarodne izkušnje in poznati delovanje mednarodnih trgov in trendov. Na ta zadnji razpis za razvoj skupine projektov je prispelo 147 prijav iz 27 držav. In komisija je med 71 uspešnim prijaviteljem dodelila skupno približno 12,5 milijona evrov za razvoj 270 celovečernih filmov. Uspeh je pa to, da je bila Slovenija tudi najuspešnejša država v kategoriji z nizko avdiovizualno produkcijsko zmogljivostjo. Kaj nas čaka v prihodnjem programu? Zaenkrat še čakamo dokončen sprejem programa in razpisov, ampak ob predlogu Evropske komisije želi ta podpirati več individualne mobilnosti, pri čemer je bil ta predlog podan pred korona krizo. Želi podpirati več promocije evropskih del izven Evrope. Program bo predvideval bolj sektorski pristop, se pravi bolj sektorske razpise tudi za področje, poleg avdiovizualnega sektorja, za področje glasbe, knjige, arhitekture, kulturne dediščine in pa neke nove teme, medsektorske cilje Evropske komisije, ki bodo nagovarjali tudi prihodnji razpisi in projekti, so tako imenovani uravnoteženost oziroma enakost spolov, področje okolja in podnebnih sprememb in pravice manjšin, naprimer razseljenih ljudi, migrantov, beguncev, invalidov, mladih, starejših in tako dalje. V letošnjem letu pa vas vabimo, da nas bodisi prek spleta spremljate na spletnih dogodkih. Naslednji bodo plan B za kulturne politike evropskih mest, se pravi pogovori o naprimer kultura v javnem prostoru v času krize in po njej in pa prenos kulturnih vsebin na spletu v času krize in po njej. Užival pa bomo tudi predvidoma v Novi Gorici v oktobru in pa na festivalu Ljubljanskega filmskega festivala in več o ostalih strokovnih dogodkih bo objavljeno na naši spletni strani motovila.si. Vsi kontaktni podatki za dodatna vprašanja so na voljo na naši spletni strani. Za podprogram Medija s konkretnimi vprašanji pa se obrnite na sodelavko Ines Kežman. Jaz sem na voljo danes tudi po dogodku tukaj, če ima kdo še kakšno vprašanje, sicer pa hvala za pozornost. Predajam besedo Mariju Bentoču.
Hvala, pozdravljeni še v mojem imenu. Jaz sem Marijo Benkoč iz kulturno-izobraževalnega društva PINA in bom predstavil delovanje UAB Direct točk v Sloveniji. Samo malo. Pa me zanima, od tukaj prisotnih poznate Europe Direct informacijske točke? Nekateri ja, nekateri ne. No, Europe Direct informacijske točke, v bistvu to je mreža 500 informacijskih centrov, v bistvu po celi Evropski uniji, ki predstavlja neko lokalno povezavo med EU in njenimi državami. V bistvu smo neka kontaktna točka Evropske komisije na nekem lokalnem območju. V Sloveniji je pač 7 takih točk. Ena smo mi, ki smo locirani v Kopru, bom kasneje še več o tem povedal. Ostale so pa še v Murski Soboti, Mariboru, Ravnem na Koroško, Celju, Novem mestu, Kopru in tako naprej. Tako dejansko je v bistvu po celi Sloveniji so te točke in jih lahko obiščete, vam pač nudimo različne informacije, ki bom pač opisal v nadaljevanju. Europe Direct, Koper Kapodistrija, se nahajamo v prostorih kulturno-izobraževalnega društva PINA. Najverjetneje nas že vsi poznate, ki nas ne, pa v bistvu mi v obalni kraški regiji skrbimo za krepitev nevladnega sektorja, za nek razvoj kritične in odgovorne družbe, ter uresničujemo različna mednarodna sodelovanja. Naše storitve kot Europe Direct so pa brezplačne. Za neka specializirana vprašanja so pa na voljo ostale mreže Evropske komisije in nacionalne kontaktne točke v Sloveniji. Kot vidite, jih je veliko in med njimi je tudi Center Ustvarjalna Evropa, potem so pa še Europass, Eurodesk, Erasmus plus in tako v bistvu zelo različna mreža točk, kjer lahko dobite bolj specifične odgovore na vprašanja. No, kaj je pa informacijska točka Europe Direct? Je pa v bistvu eno izmed glavnih orodij Evropske komisije, s katerim državljanom na lokalni ravni ponuja informacije in zbira tudi povratne informacije od državljanov. In potem dejansko mi dajemo naprej te informacije komisiji. Je to neka vstopna točka, v bistvu vsak lahko pride do nas, v bistvu imamo nek tudi delovni čas, urnik, in nas vprašate kakršnokoli vprašanje, če ne znamo takoj odgovoriti, vas pa napotimo oziroma pridobimo to vprašanje kasneje. Kaj državljane ponavadi najbolj zanima je, na primer, kako poiskati službo v drugi državi, neke ažurne informacije o možnosti črpanja sredstev Evropske unije. Tega je kar veliko. Naj omenim, da pač naše društvo v bistvu živi od tega, dejansko od črpanja evropskih sredstev in državnih. Pa tudi pač veliko je vprašanj glede šolanja, glede praks, glede prostovoljstva v drugih državah znotraj Evropske unije. Zdaj, dobro, vidim, da en slajd je preskočil. Zdaj nudimo pa tudi pač pester izbor publikacij, ki jih Evropska unija pač izdeluje na zelo, zelo različnih področjih. Zunaj, ti, ki ste tukaj, je zunaj na mizici je en del teh publikacij, ki si jih lahko tudi vzamete. Mi imamo na kulturno-izobraževalnem društvu imamo v naših prostorih tudi walk-in center, kjer so te publikacije tudi tam, tako da v bistvu, če bi želeli, lahko pridete, si jih vzamete. Lahko pa tudi naročimo, če so kakšne bolj specifične. Naprimer, ena je tudi o audiovizualnem pač področju, so tudi zunaj, imam 2 izvoda, so pa v bistvu iz različnih področij in tudi statistični podatki, kako potovati po Evropski uniji, kakšne so vaše pravice kot državljana Evropske unije, čisto splošno tudi o Evropski uniji, da spoznate, kateri so organi. Smo pa v bistvu v ta namen, da te publikacije še bolj širimo, v obalno-kraški regiji vzpostavili EU kotičke, ki so pa v bistvu, kjer so, vidite na slikah, so pač te publikacije na voljo in to so v knjižnicah, so v mladinskih centrih, in seveda specifično za to vsebino, ki je tam ciljna publika, tako da dejansko res lahko pač ljudje oziroma državljani dostopajo do njih. Potem ta glavna dejavnost, ki jo pa izvajamo poleg informiranja in nudenja pač teh publikacij, je pa, da organiziramo različne dogodke, kjer v bistvu odpiramo neke zanimive evropske teme in pač prisluhnemo pač državljanom in potem to pač tudi prenesemo naprej. Pa bom zdaj zavrtel en filmček, ki malo pokaže, kako se to izvaja. Pa bom zdaj samo na hitro preletel te dogodke, ki jih pač izvajamo, tako da dejansko vidite, kaj je v bistvu v tej domeni in kako lahko dejansko pristopite do nas oziroma se udeležite teh dogodkov. Najbolj zanimiv, v bistvu, ker smo tukaj v bistvu s tem namenom, je v bistvu povezal neposredno s tem, je tudi filmski teden Evrope, ki ga v bistvu vsako leto pač izvajamo Europe točke po celi Sloveniji, v bistvu to skupna akcija, kjer v bistvu brezplačno predvajamo najmanj 3 filme, ki so sofinancirani s strani programa Mediji in pač Ustvarjalna Evropa, oziroma tudi filme, ki so bili nominirani za nagrado Lux. Mi smo pač letos, ponavadi je to v maju, ampak letos zaradi epidemioloških razmer smo pač mogli to zamakniti v poletni čas, tako smo v bistvu naredili filmski teden Evrope pod zvezdami. Naj omenim, da je bilo zelo uspešno, kar veliko ljudi. So pa te filmi, vsi evropski filmi v bistvu so res kvalitetni, zato ker sama Ustvarjalna Evropa spodbuja take tematike, ki gledalca v bistvu nagovarjajo, da malo kritično pač razmišlja oziroma pač vzpostavlja neke tematike, ki so, ne vem, ali kakšen družbeni izziv in podobno. In na primer en film, ki smo ga letos predvajali v Izoli, tukaj v letnem kinu Aigoniju, je bil film Pritisk, ki v bistvu je dokumentarni film, ki govori o stanovanjski problematiki in smo pred tem dejansko naredili tudi z relevantnimi deležniki nek pogovor o tem. Tako v bistvu na tak način potem spodbujamo neko kritično mišljenje tudi pač udeležencev. Imeli smo pa tudi projekcije v Sežani in tudi v Ajdovščini, v bistvu skupaj smo pač za to regijo naredili pač 5 brezplačnih projekcij. Potem imamo tudi zdaj že 3. leto zapored serijo teh pogovornih večerov, kjer v bistvu krepimo dialog o Evropski uniji in spet spodbujamo neko kritičen razmislek o aktualnih temah EU in v bistvu o spodbujanju nekega aktivnega državljanstva. Mogoče vidite na sliki, naši gosti so tako znane osebnosti, kot so Miha Šalehar, Miha Mazzini, Vojnović, Matjaž Trošt. 24. septembra imamo tudi v bistvu en pogovorni večer, ki je bo gostja Lučka Kajfež-Bogataj in Boštjan Videmšek, kjer bomo govorili dejansko o novem zelenem dogovoru oziroma o okoljski tematiki, kje smo in kako naprej. Potem v bistvu delamo tudi z mladimi, pač za srednješolce, za dijaki in dijakinje organiziramo delavnice, ki se imenuje EU drža. Pač namreč mladi so zelo malo se aktivno udejstvujejo, sploh volitev, sicer v lanskem letu je bil ta delež malo višji, ampak še vedno smo v Sloveniji bolj na zadnjih mestih pri volilni udeležbi mladih, zato dejansko delamo z njimi, z šolami in jim skušamo približati delovanje institucij EU in jih spodbuditi k nekem aktivnem državljanstvu. Letos smo tudi razvili eno namizno igro, ki se imenuje EU namigi, ki bo dejansko spodbudila, da se stestirajo, kako poznajo Evropsko unijo, oziroma da se bojo malo naučili tudi, kakšne prednosti imajo, mogoče celo o akciji, da lahko potujejo z vlakom po 18. letu, če so izbrani, brezplačno seveda. Na to delamo tudi z najmlajšimi, organiziramo enkrat letno evropske pravljice, kjer imamo neke bralne in ustvarjalne urice za otroke. Pač to so risanje, stripov, lutkana predstava, dobrodelno zbiranje igrač, izmenjava knjig in podobno, kjer pa v bistvu spodbujamo neko medkulturnost in evropsko solidarnost. Pač v bistvu učimo oziroma kažemo pač te evropske vrednote. Gostujemo pa tudi na različnih dogodkih, sploh takih množičnih, kjer pač predstavljamo Evropsko unijo in tudi pač kohezijo, kaj je bilo narejenega z kohezijskimi sredstvi, kaj to sploh je. In tako smo ponavadi na Evropski noči raziskovalcem, kjer pač potencialnim znanstvenikom, raziskovalcem v bistvu kažemo raziskovalni del EU-ja, tudi pač smo na pozdravu barucem in baruckam. Kar se tiče kohezije, pa tudi pač kažemo na različnih dogodkih, kaj in kako. Na koncu pa še v bistvu izvajamo dogodke, kot so EUCT, kjer v bistvu spodbujamo neke temeljne debate o EU, o njihovih vrednotah, solidarnosti, strpnosti oziroma aktualnih temah. In to so ponovadi razprave o nekem evropskem povezovanju, od meddržavnem povezovanju, medsektorsko povezovanje, tudi med Slovenija, Hrvaška, Slovenija, Italija. In tako imamo okrogle mize, posvete in soočenja. Tukaj na sliki vidite, smo lani v bistvu prvi organizirali soočenje kandidatov za Evropski parlament. To je toliko na kratko o Europe Direct točki. Jaz bom tudi tukaj, če pa imate kakršnokoli vprašanje o kakršnokoli programih Evropske unije, pa se lahko obrnete na nas oziroma na katerokoli Europe Direct točko in vam bomo pač lahko odgovorili oziroma vas napotili na pravi naslov. Tako, hvala. Predajem naprej mikrofon.
Hvala lepa Maši Ekar iz Zavoda Motovila in Centra Ustvarjalna Evropa v Sloveniji in Mariju Benkoču iz pisarne Europe Direct, ki deluje v okviru Pine iz bližnjega Kopra. Najlepša hvala za ta kratek povzetek informacij, kako lahko kulturne organizacije in druge organizacije poiščejo partnerje za sodelovanje od blizu in daleč. So thank you very much to Masha and Mario, who presented briefly the opportunities that European Union, European Commission offers to the cultural producers and of course the citizens, European citizens, to collaborate, to connect and to get to know better the people and the cultures on the other sides of our national borders. And of course, the topic of today's meeting is collaboration, especially collaboration between international film festivals. And why we chose this topic is there are two reasons for that. The first reason was, of course, this great change that happened in the framework of Creative Europe Media program, which started beginning last autumn, a call which was specifically dedicated for international film festival networks, which is a novelty. Until until 2019, international film festivals were only able to apply for funding by the European Commission individually. But this changed, and of course this brought lots of interests for all festivals to find new ways how to establish cooperation, collaborations amongst themselves. And of course, we are talking about that type of cooperation or collaboration that is in a way a strategic tool for the festivals to develop their own programs, their own organization, and so on. So it's a tool that can bring a new vision or can bring specific festivals to the future, to the new times. And of course, after this new call from the Creative Europe Media, the new times or the new reality actually arrived this spring. And film festivals suddenly needed to drastically rethink their organization, their plans, how they do the programming, how do they organize the festival themselves. And of course, Kino Otok, the team of Kino Otok, we were also in this same story, and tried to create a version of a festival that would still bring the quality program of films and also reach audiences in different ways. So what we are doing this year, for example, is that we created a hybrid event, which is a combination of live events for live audience, and of course we do have some programs which are available online. And of course, our event today is one of them. And so I have to say hello and welcome also to the listeners who are following us online on YouTube or Facebook. And I would also like to invite everyone who is with us online to ask questions, to write them down in comments for our guests today, and we will be able to ask our guests these questions later. When we talk about the topic of collaboration, and especially innovative collaboration, I think there are a few better guests to talk about than Diana Tabacco, who is with us today. And she will talk about the Doc Alliance Film Festivals Network, which connects 7 major documentary film festivals across Europe. And what they also created in the framework of this collaboration is the Da Films online VOD platform, which is one of the best curated and most followed VOD platforms for documentary art house film. So I am hoping that Diana is connected.
Yes, I am here and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's perfect.
Hi.
Welcome, Diana, and I would like to ask you for this first part of our conversation to talk about Doc Alliance and Da Films, and then we could have a couple of questions from me and, of course, from the audience later on.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy I can talk more about the Doc Alliance today. It's quite sad I cannot see you all physically, but anyway, these are the times now, and it is an interesting experience for us also as a VOD platform, the handling of events between online and offline worlds, and we were always doing this, but more and more we are learning what the place of the internet is good and for what not. So I'm very sad that you have to digitally release many of your parts of the festival. I think these are the parts where we need to meet physically. But then internet is an opportunity to actually approach new audiences with specific programs that you can create for the online space in a different way. So on the other hand, I'm very happy that institutions and festivals are learning on how to incorporate the online space into their programs. Anyway, so I'm here as a representative of Doc Alliance Films. I'm the director of the VOD platform. I am the head of acquisitions, which I have been doing for 11 years for this platform now. So I have some experience in how the VOD world and specifically how the acquisitions of films for the VOD, for the online, are developing in the last decade. So our VOD platform, I will show you in a short time. It is based on a cooperation of 7 film festivals. These festivals, actually, it's interesting because the creative program was built on the representatives of the creative program actually approached us to ask about how the cooperation works, because we are one of the networks that were actually created even without any media support. It was created more than 10 years ago. I think 14 years ago, when the festival directors had a feeling that it is important to somehow create an open space and a space of friendly cooperation of film festivals, which normally compete over film premieres, compete over the more unique industry program and their identities. So it was a time when also these festivals, which I will show you briefly, also had this opinion that it is very important to join together in order to have a stronger voice, because most of these festivals represented a more fragile, let's say, form of documentary genre, the more avant-garde, let's say, the more avant-garde and art house film. And that, of course, is a voice that is sometimes marginalized. And so that was another reason why it was important also to create a cooperation which actually was created very naturally because of all these reasons. So that is one thing, talking about cooperations. And why I'm saying this is also because a lot of programs, grant programs, actually support projects and institutions to cooperate. And I know that you must all have this experience that sometimes the cooperation is not the easiest. And that's why I'm just talking about this, that it's very important. And I emphasize this understanding of a natural development of a network. There needs to be a sympathetic understanding between the people who are dealing with this. Just don't deal with people you don't want to deal with. I mean, that would be the easy way. So I think it was very much based on this human factor, creating this network. It's this genuine understanding. Of course, each of the festival has a different profile in a way, but has a mutual understanding of how to approach with an open mind the documentary genre. And all these film festivals had the main aim to promote this genre to a wider audience, and also to create a sustainable, somehow industry, professional environment for the filmmakers. I might share the screen now with our VOD platform. Let's make just more space here. So this is our VOD platform, dafilms.com, a shortcut for Doc Alliance Films. Our alliance of 7 documentary film festivals has many projects together. One of the most visible ones is, for example, this VOD platform. Here you can see our alliance listed. So it is a very beautiful, progressive film festival, CPH Docs in Copenhagen, Denmark. We have also a very beautiful poetic avant-garde space, Doc Lisboa in Portugal. CPH Docs this year had to digitally release their festival because they're in March, and that's what was the worst part, right? Lisboa is somehow broadening their festival. They're not digitally releasing their festival, but they are going to have a couple of programs on Doc Alliance during autumn, and also they will have a program throughout 6 months, so that if a lockdown comes, it will not cancel the whole event. Docs Against Gravity Film Festival in Warsaw, a very beautiful festival that takes on board a lot of important, big, sometimes also quite popular documentary films that are then also theatrically distributed in Poland, because the festival director, Artur Liebhardt, has a theatrical distribution company, Docs Against Gravity, so often takes these films into their catalog and distributes over Poland, also to schools and to a very broad network he has created throughout the years. So it's a very, very important festival also for filmmakers. Doc Leipzig, you must all know for sure, who is from the documentary industry, a very important festival, one of the oldest. It used to have a dove on their festival poster, if you remember. That is almost a 50 years old festival. And the dove was painted by, I think, Picasso, and given, because he was a very leftist painter, he gave this to the festival, which is in Eastern Germany. So yeah, there was this history. Anyway, Doc Leipzig, very interesting, important, also has a section for animated documentaries. Film Marseille, a French festival, beautiful avant-garde universe where you can also discover a lot of non-European films from Asia, Latin America, and also Middle Eastern films, Maghreb, and so on. So very interesting space. Jihlava International Documentary Film Festival is a Czech documentary festival where I grown up, and I watched most of the films, and that's where I fell in love with documentary films, and is taking place now in October. And is a very important meeting point for Eastern European documentary films. And Visions du Réel in Nyon, which is one of also my closest film festivals, very beautiful programming of poetic, observational, and other documentary films with a very beautiful international competition. So this is our alliance. Together we work on many projects. One of them is this VOD platform. So it is a VOD platform that has over 2,500 films online. We have existed for about 14 years, and it is a beautiful project because exactly it is a bridge over the gap between the curators, the film festivals who are creators, and the audiences. Many of the beautiful festival films that you can see premiering at our Doc Alliance festivals have the difficulty to have a theatrical distribution in other territories than the land of production, for example. So the main aim with this VOD platform was to promote the documentary genre to a global audience, to give a longer life to the films. Of course, our platform is global, but sometimes we need to work more territorially in order to have interesting day and date releases, work with online premieres, and have bigger campaigns in order to approach larger audiences. So we did create localized versions, the Czech, Slovak, and Polish versions that are translated into the local languages. And then we also have the global version of dafilms.com is for Europe, Americas, and Asia. So when you're on our homepage, you can click through Europe, then you can click to the version of Americas, which has a different claim and different is the price in the US, and also the programming is different. So we're very much between this cooperation is practically is built in the way that we are in touch with our Doc Alliance partners, with all the festival selectors. Together we work on acquisitions, together we create programs that we stream online internationally, globally. And so we help also the festivals themselves approach worldwide or European audiences, which is an interesting way of how to strengthen an identity of a festival, let's say. So we create programs together on our European platform. You can see that right now we are presenting 2 programs that are created with the film festival. And one of them is with Sheffield Docfest in the UK, and the other one is with DocuFest Kosovo that made the decision very last minute and had to go online and digitally release their festival. So together we work on selections and help approach audiences, but also create a larger visibility to the filmmakers that are presented and premiering at the film festival events. So the VOD platform is one way of cooperating. It's cooperating in a way of promoting the genre of curation, of approaching audiences, and of also promoting the brands of the festivals themselves. Then the other main project that we do together with the Doc Alliance, we have a project called the Doc Alliance Selection, which is now the status is that we have cooperated on this project before also, but now we are waiting for this support, whether media supported our new project, where they actually, as I said already, approached us that we would be the most logical actually alliance in order to apply for this. And so we're waiting for the results. So we kind of in this project that we applied with, we worked on what we're already doing somehow voluntarily, and also broadened this kind of cooperation. Our plan for the next year, if we get the support, would be to broaden the Doc Alliance selection competition, and also to create Doc Alliance selections network workshop that would be to somehow cooperate on and communicate the insight of how the festival works, the festivals work, and also to somehow create a space where we can share our experiences, and also think of other ways of how we can, let's say, cut the costs of technologically and so on, which was a bit of an issue for us because most of the festivals are using different kinds of digital tools, and it's very difficult to somehow find a mutual technological tool that would cut the costs from the beginning. So this is something we need to figure out in our workshop meetings during 2021. So the Doc Alliance selection, which is the first part of the project, is that each of the festival picks one film. So in the end, we have a selection of 7 films in the so-called Doc Alliance selection. Then we also pick one film critique from each of the countries, because we understand also and see, which is very problematic, that there's not enough film critiques knowing how to write about documentary films specifically. So we would like to support this, and every year we pick 7 film critiques, and they form a jury, and together they pick one winner of these films. Of this selection, and the winner is then awarded 5,000 euros and is awarded in Cannes and at an event that we organize together with the Doc Alliance, where we promote the films that were selected in the Doc Alliance selection. We show the trailers to guests that are mainly film industry guests for attending Cannes Doc Corner. So these filmmakers actually get a visibility. These films in the Doc Alliance selection are meant to be mainly debuts, film debuts, documentary films, feature-length documentary films. And after that, actually, each of the Doc Alliance festivals are supposed to screen at least 3 of these 7 films. So there's also a larger visibility to these emerging filmmakers, and we also send out a press release, of course, and work on a PR campaign for the awarded film and help to distribute this awarded film to a larger audience. So this is a project that we have been doing for a couple of years, but we did this kind of voluntarily with no budget. So this time we would like to take it on board more professionally, give a larger support to the selected filmmakers, give them a possibility to promote their films and get them to more festivals and create a larger label out of the Doc Alliance selection. This is a part of the project. And the second part, the Doc Alliance network that we would love to do, and that would be an absolutely new thing for the Doc Alliance network. It would be to broaden and to have more meetings. Now in practice, how it works is the Doc Alliance festival directors meet once in a year for a day or 2. And we discuss all the issues that are needed. Sometimes the discussion is firstly very broad. It's about the issues of documentary world, film industry. And we think of things that we should do in future. We think about if there are festivals that we would like to take on board or into our network or not. And we talk about more, issues, contemporary issues of the documentary film industry. And then also we think of how to do specific projects and what specifically as an alliance we can do. With the festival directors, is a very important meeting and it's very beautiful. Most of the directors, when let's say Doc Leipzig has from Lena Passanen change to Christopher to the new festival director and also other festival directors sometimes change in time and they don't really understand the meaning of the Doc Alliance. So then when they sit at the one table, as Lena Passanen said, oh, now we had a meeting in Locarno all together, and she sat at the table and she said, at last, now I understand what the Doc Alliance is. And she said, I would never sit at one table with all these festival directors at one time. It would never happen. And so just when you sit there, and it does sound very elementary, but it is a very important thing to do. And these directors of these very important and big events already, like also with a large tradition, it would never happen they would sit at one table. So it would be beautiful if we had the possibility to have more time, larger budget to invite our festival directors and really have more time to actually talk about things and plan new projects together. And what the absolutely new part of the project would be for 2021 is that we would also meet with other representatives of the festivals. So we would have also the teams from the PR team. We would have just other representatives that work throughout the year on the festival. We would have various topics. Each of the festival would get one topic to focus on. So this would be somehow dissemination of the work in the project, and we would focus on PR and the communication. We will focus on fundraising and partnership building. We will focus on industry programs, on technical production and technological developments. We will focus on year-round projects, which means national distribution, film educational and film literacy programs, and so on. And then, of course, least but not last, the examining of the ecological footprint of our activities that also coincides with the inspiring entire industry. So let's say greening the industry. So that's also a very important topic. So these are some of the topics that we would like to form workshops around and meet together with the festival representatives, relevant festival representatives from the whole Doc Alliance throughout the year. And so I think that it would be more of a preliminary year with very specific results though. And then we would, of course, the main aim is to disseminate these experiences to also other festivals in order to help out and to somehow, of course, to give information openly out, and also somehow create a sustainable environment in which we can be more effective in our work and cooperate on various things. But I think it's very important exactly to first have the possibility to meet in person and to somehow talk about the possibilities, not to write something on a paper and then discover that it's impossible to share the subtitling costs and it's impossible to share anything like that. So, and we, after all these years with the experience of the Doc Alliance project, we know that it's sometimes the Danish mode is very different to the Portuguese mode. And I remember the times when we wanted to agree on the graphic design of our VOD platform. Now imagine the discussion of the Polish with the Swiss and the Portuguese with the Czechs saying, yeah, we'll be green. No, we will be this. It's also just the aesthetics and the subjective point of view, and also then the cultural code in all this. So it's also very important to somehow find the border of like what is supposed to be decided by a coordinator and what is supposed to be decided by all the other partners, and what is the most effective mode. So yeah, so this is somehow what I wanted to tell you from my experience. If you have any questions, please, I'm very happy to respond to anything I did not say.
Of course, thank you very much for now, for your presentation. Yes, and I do have questions. The first question would be, it seems like really a lot of work. You talked a lot about the ideas, the programming, like all these great, beautiful ideas you are putting together in collaboration, between these 7 festivals. So I would ask you if you could talk a little bit also about the very practical point, of the alliance. You mentioned that the directors are meeting once per year and so on, but I can imagine that behind these meetings and next to you, there has to be many colleagues, who support somehow all this activity. And especially in the light of that, from what I understood, you developed in these 10 years a lot, like the alliance developed in an enormous way, you moved from being a European fixture to being transcontinental, you now also address Americas and Asia and so on. So yeah, I'm super curious, and I believe that my colleagues who organize film festivals are as well. How do you manage to keep this, abundance of programming under control somehow, organizational control, and also financial control, if you can talk about this a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Of course, in the end, it is about detail, as Jean-Pierre Rem, the festival director of FIT Marseille, says. So, of course, we have a team newly now from this year, thanks to the Creative Europe support. We have about 12 people, but many of them are part-timers. So we're quite a small group of people working on the VOD platform mainly. Most of the Doc Alliance activities are more or less somehow voluntary, or we understand that it is a very important part, something that is, an essential part, stone of the building stone of the VOD platforms. So we just do this, and hopefully we will get the budget to actually work on this and have a full-time person who will not only take care of the support for the festival network, but also coordinate the communication between the festivals. But then the festival network support needs to be based on a dissemination of the specifics, right? So each festival will have a task. And so we always pick a coordinator from each festival. So when we have the budget for the meetings, we would always invite a festival director and their coordinator for Doc Alliance activities. This coordinator is in touch with us regarding the financing, because they're usually also contributing or co-financing partners. It also works the other way, that we also grant money to the festival partners to promote the VOD platform at their festivals, but then they also have to co-finance. So there's a lot of paperwork around that as well. So we always needed a festival Doc Alliance coordinator at the festival. So this is how it worked until now. We have a Prague office in Czech Republic where we have a team that is mainly working on the VOD platform. And then we have my colleague Nina Numankadic and me who are mostly in touch with our Doc Alliance partners and talk about other things. And my other colleague, the coordinator, then specifically works on the Doc Alliance selection project. That means she picks the tips from the festival directors. So the festival directors themselves need to send us the tips for the festival selection. Then they need to send the tips for the film critiques, but it is then coordinated by our team to organize the whole event in Cannes, to organize all the everything around the agenda around the client selection event. All this could be much more professionalized because, of course, we are now doing it during the time that we should work for the VOD platform. So if we would get this support, we could then, of course, work more professionally as a network and really organize the meetings. And we will see if traveling will be possible, because that's another thing. If we get the support, the first meeting was actually scheduled for December, because that's also another issue for festival coordination of networks is when do you meet? Most of the festivals take place throughout the whole year. So the only time the Doc Alliance festival directors can meet are the first 10 days of December. That's it. Otherwise, we can meet in Berlinale or Cannes, where everyone is, but then they have 2 hours of time and they run away all the time. So it's not that, it doesn't work that well. So we were scheduled for December. We will see if traveling will be possible, and we will see if the project will be effective enough if the meetings were online. I would rather not. We will see. But otherwise the VOD platform is run by about 12 people. We have 2 part-timers for the American version. We have 1 full-time person for a Polish version, 2 half-timers for Slovakia. And then the rest of the team is somehow dealing with the whole thing. And we have head of PR and my colleague Nina, she takes care of the financial things. And I am more in touch with the team and the head of programming and so on. So this is somehow an organic organization. Somehow we are all filmmakers. So it's like a very intuitive, I must say, this organization. And budget-wise, we're of course financed thanks to Creative Europe. We can actually do this. Creative Europe supported the technological development of VOD platforms many years ago. We were there since the beginning, so it was very important for us so that we can build our own system. After that, the Creative Europe stopped financing the technological development of VOD platforms and only finances promotion and marketing of VOD platforms. So we had to somehow restructure our applications and we apply for the promotion of our VOD platform, and that is very important to us to get this budget now, because of course this is the way of how we approach audiences and how we get subscribers and how we can promote the films. So and for the co-financing, we're co-financed also by the revenues of the platform, which form about 30 or 40% of our budget. So we're not sustainable yet without the funding, but that's also a vicious circle because of the kind of films that we work with, and the films that we work with are also themselves financed by the funds. So it's very logical for the distribution of these kind of funded films to be funded too. So it's an organism that is meaningful in a way, and so we're co-financed also by the Czech Cinematography Fund, and and we also co-finance with our Doc Alliance partners.
If I understood you correctly, with the new application to the Creative Europe Media Fund, you kept the network. The size is the same, so it's still 7 festivals.
Yes.
And so my question would be, did you ever or would you ever consider expanding that, or in general, how do you approach these extra partnerships which are outside of the original 7?
Mm-hmm. Well, we were always, every time we meet, we talk about this, and of course there are many beautiful festivals that we would love to partner with. On the other hand, knowing how difficult it is to work on also financing such a network, we are happy that we're managing 7. Like in order to really work well on specific projects that you think of, it's very important to understand that in detail the work needs to be done somehow, and it would be quite unimaginable for us to have 15 festivals as partners. So, but of course, the last festival we took on board was Doc Lisboa, and that is, I think, 6 years ago, maybe. Since then, we were talking about adding more festivals. Very much, a lot of festivals are approaching us, of course, as well. But it is more upon invitation, really. It's really about the festival directors to decide among themselves what is the aim of the. And our aim is not to become a big network, a big association. It is more to work in depth with partners. It's like a marriage. It's like, even something doesn't work, it's not that you say bye and just like say next one come. It's more about really trying to find other ways with our partners that we are together. So this is how we approach it. We were also thinking about guest festivals, but that would be more a space for someone from a different continent, so Asian or American, Latin American festivals. But what we're doing now is, as the VOD platform, not as much as the Doc Alliance network, but the VOD platform of the network, we are approaching, of course, we're creating a bit of a parallel network of film festivals with whom we work on curated programs, as, for example, Sheffield DocFest is, and DocuFest in Kosovo, very beautiful people we love that organize these events. So it's more of a parallel kind of cooperation with film festivals on international curated programs.
And as you said, your network developed quite organically, and it still is a very organic entity. So I was wondering, did you just learn and figure things out along the way? Or you had some model, maybe someone else, another network, maybe not, inside the film industry, but outside? Or who are your, I don't know, maybe I will use this word competitors, but who are the other actors? Maybe let's stay on the European ground, who are your, in a way, competitors, but maybe also colleagues, who can teach you something about how to approach things? Or do you really, you grew so much over the last 10 years that you somehow, left the others behind?
Well, I don't really know. And I don't really use the word competitors. And I know you were also very reluctant to it, but I don't really like it. And it's not, it's like, we don't really care. I mean, it's very, as you said, very organic. It's just about festival directors many years ago met at a festival, and they understood that it would be great to create a network. More and more throughout the years, there's an understanding that it's very important to actually stick to alliances rather to destroy them, as we can see with the union being very fragile and everything. So it's very important for us to somehow sustain this. And it is not I cannot really think of another network that would be quite similar to this, but it's not that I would not see or feel, it's not that we would feel elite. It's more that we're just doing our thing. And it's a very mutual understanding of how to work with the documentary genre, and it was a very important time when other film festivals were, for example, very much pursuing the idea of documentary genre being more the broadcasted documentary and somehow TV documentary form and so on. So it was very much a time where it was important to have a stronger voice together. And right now, I cannot really. I think that we have grown as a VOD platform, and the festivals are changing, evolving. The festival directors are changing; they're not the same that were at the beginning, but still there is this like motor that we already started, and I think that is something that shows us that it is a stable project, a stable cooperation. That even if the festival directors change throughout the time, we still keep the network. We still understand that there is this like mechanism also, this somehow environment that we created, that it's so natural for us to be in the alliance already that it's impossible to think otherwise. And I think it's very comfortable also for the festival directors to be in touch with others, even when they start as a new festival director of a film festival, to have the possibility to talk to their competitor, as we could say in a way. So yeah.
I think, yeah, we all prefer the word colleagues, right, to competitors, for sure. Yeah, okay, as you said, it's really a unique, original story, you know, around the Doc Alliance and the platform. And as you mentioned during your presentation, you said that Creative Europe somehow recognized that and approached you in a way. So I was just curious, this dialogue with the Creative Europe actually happened before the new call was introduced? Are we even allowed to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I was not a part of this meeting. My colleague Nina was, and she was invited to meet with 2 or 3 representatives of our festivals, the festival directors of 3 of our festivals, and I think it was like a preliminary kind of research meeting by the Creative Europe. It was during Berlinale, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and it was actually questioning how the network works, how such a cooperation could be effective, and so on and so on. So I think it's a very open kind of meeting that happened, and so yeah, and that somehow, because when we thought that we would have to have another application with the alliance, we thought we will not manage. We don't want the money, anything, and then it would be, you know, the thing is that you don't know how this call will evolve, if actually sole individual festivals will be able to apply in future by themselves or not. So that's probably a thing. So it's very important for us to try and be there from the beginning, and it was of course very encouraging when the Creative Europe actually asked us for feedback around it, and our experience with the Creative Europe representatives for so far is very positive. I must say myself, I meet often in Cannes and Berlin with them, and they know specifically who am I, what I do, who is my colleagues, what kind of films we do, and they know most of the things about the industry that are relevant to the call. So it's very important for them to talk to us and not to create their plans, not to create the plans from the table in Brussels. So yeah.
Which is great, yeah. I think that it's really, really beautiful that this dialogue exists, you know, so it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe just a quick comment, you know, how was your experience of the application when it actually came to your desktop, and how would you comment in general? Yes, how is this new call formed?
Well, you can see that it's new. You can see that it's kind of like general in a way, and the questions are kind of leading you in the same direction. So I had a feeling that we have to write. We did it in our team, of course. I didn't do it myself, and we cooperated on it. And we had a feel. I mean, like it would. The questions were often leading to the same thing, so you really need to structure, and that's what happens when it's very general, right? So I think they're really kind of touching it first and kind of figuring out what will happen, what kind of applications will come, what kind of cooperations, and it's probably good. I think I'm happy it wasn't such a big application. It was quite manageable, and it wasn't that long and demanding, and so we will see. But it was very much it's an unknown thing. I have no idea if actually our plans would meet what Creative Europe was thinking of, or if they're more looking into very specific projects, which my colleague here, the second speaker, will be talking about, maybe more like technological development using, cutting costs on technological tools and digital tools and so on. So we will see what kind of aim they will have with this. And but I understood this many years ago already, that it's a way for them also to somehow centralize the financing, I would say, as there is like Europa Cinemas that gets the money and then disseminates the money to other cinemas. Then this would be an interesting way of how to deal with it for them. But we will see how the specifics, because then on the other hand, all the festivals want to do their thing, right? I mean, they all have their own identity, and if you don't have an identity, you're non-existent. So if I mean, it's very these corporations and European corporations are very fragile in a way, because you need to think of the way of how to keep your own like identity, and then how to find the European aspect of the cooperation, which sometimes is very tricky. We had a problem with this when we got the support from the film program, when we ran a Doc Alliance Academy project for 2 or 3 years. We had a VOD platform just for schools, and we had big problems actually to create film literacy educational materials that would work in Poland as they would work in France. So it's that there we really stepped on really it was a shaky stone that we were standing on, and it didn't work out, and we didn't really believe in it that much, so we didn't work on that more.
I would have one last question, which is in connection to the VOD platform. But I also invite right now the audience here, if you will have some questions. I already see one raised hand, so we can continue with that later. But I was just wondering, what is your experience over the last months, which were very special with the COVID era, of course. How was the audience's reaction, in fact? So what do you have already, I believe, some data on it? So how did the audience react, and how was it? Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was super exciting time for VOD platforms. I was very sad about all the festivals that had to go digitally online, digital releases. I don't really believe in that, but it was a super exciting time. We had 20 times more views of our platform, and we had 5 times more views of films themselves, which is really a big step. And we've really accelerated significantly the acquisitions. I was planning for acquiring 400 films for the whole platform, all the divisions, throughout the year, and we did that just in the first 4 months of the year. So we need to broaden this also. And so we started curating films also for kids, because schools were closed, and finding ways, because of course, as a VOD platform, we mustn't forget, it's very important also for festivals if they would cooperate on digital platforms. It's good because we have the data. And I mean, like, even the big VOD platforms like Netflix and others, they are big data companies, but they give no data out. So we give a lot of data out to filmmakers and rights holders who have films with us. If they ask, or if they have also, they can enter the platform and see the statistics, but we check the Google Analytics and our administrative system for numbers every single day. So we see, it was interesting that during the COVID, actually audiences watched more during the day. They also watched during, like sometimes it happens that people would watch during lunch, even normally, but lunch breaks and so on. But then normally you have the same prime times as cinemas and TV has, so it's Friday, Saturday night. But during the lockdown, we could see that throughout the whole day, we would just have such a big, audience, so that was really great. A lot of cinemas closed down, so we tried to take on board most of the films that were stuck in the middle, somehow already premiered, but still had to go in the cinema. So it was very interesting for us also to open these cooperations and somehow help out filmmakers. And we were very much in touch with festivals. We digitally released also a competition of Visions Rural Neon, the Grand Angle competition, and then we released the rest of the festival, One World Human Rights Film Festival in Prague, which was cancelled right in the middle. So they had about 20 films that were not screened at all. So in one day we organized this and we continued the whole festival online. But there, of course, you need to think about territories, because you need to territorially limit the films to just one country, and we are a global platform and so on. So it was very much organized in a crisis mode, with a very much solidarity and this I don't know if you remember it, but this like kind of really strange energy among us who wanted to cooperate and help out in all these situations. And now it's a bit different, and I think a lot of festivals are thinking of their own ways of how to deal with this. And so so digital releasing of festivals is one thing that we had an experience with. On the other hand, we did make the decision. We are not a company that is going to release festivals as a whole. We want to be more as international partners, where we can think of a specific way of how to create for an online, and we can help approach global audiences and local audiences, of course, as well. Because, for example, for Neon, it was a very good possibility to reach out to younger audiences that are not in the city, which was always a bit of a task for the festival, because it's a very expensive country in Switzerland. The city, Neon, I think, is very much for very rich retired people, and the audiences are quite old when you go to the screening rooms there. So I think the digital release also helped the festival reach out to new audiences. So yeah, I mean, the pandemic somehow developed a new. I mean, we learned a lot. Audiences learned a lot, I think. Audiences tried, subscribed to more platforms, are now testing them, finding their own. I think these 2 years now, I mean, the audience behavior changed a lot, and we can see that the numbers are going 100 times, I mean, like 100% more every year anyway. So it's just like, the numbers are going up, and then the pandemic happened, but it's just like, it would go that way anyway. And you could see that things are happening in the US with the big studios also like shrinking the theatrical holdback from 3 months to 17 days. So big studios are also shifting somehow to digitally releasing films earlier. So I think the online, and then there's new business models that we also tried out, which is, as you have the SVOD, the subscription model, the TVOD, the transactional, but then there's a new model called premium VOD, which is PVOD, which we were doing also. And that is something that you release a film just for 2-3 days, and then you put it offline, and you just like create the word of mouth, and then it goes back to the cinemas. And there are many new, and we have been doing this for 14 years, but suddenly it's more broad, and when producers are more open to it, that we can work on these various individually somehow created strategies for each film to think of, like, shall we release it simultaneously in cinemas and online, or should we wait for 2 weeks? Can we do a live streaming of a Q&A, and so on and so on. So it's a very exciting time where we can play with the online and offline worlds that we live in anyway. We live online and offline, all of us already, and so these strategies need to somehow be also created for these both worlds that we are living in. And so yeah, it was a very interesting and very important time for us as a VOD platform.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a question from the audience.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Diana. My name is Igor. I'm a program director of Animateca International Animated Film Festival in Ljubljana. And it was really, really great to hear your presentation, especially from a country, Slovenia, that doesn't have one VOD platform that would be working properly. So it's very nice to hear how you managed to develop, and actually it's really the time to do it. But I wanna just go back to the network, the media network application, which we applied together under the CEE animation label, together with our Czech, Slovak, and Croatian colleagues. So only 4 animation film festivals. And actually, it was really important what you said, that I think that in Brussels they still don't know what to do with it. But we were all lucky this year because we got a chance to apply 2 times. So actually, if we will get the network grant, it will be like an extra grant for everybody. But the problem is, as they put it this year, that each member of the network can get a maximum of 30,000 euro. And this is for me like, because also asking our colleagues at the media desk in Slovenia, they didn't have this information, and I guess they still don't have it. What will be the real kind of, how to say, real goal of this new application? Will it stay like this, or after they will see how many networks will be created, and I hope we will get these results now in mid-September, that they will then react properly and reshape the way of financing film festivals, which I think that it's really frustrating for us because they put us under a kind of like a feeling of being afraid for our future, because as you said, and maybe it's even more important for smaller festivals than yours, because Jihlava is quite big and the other 7 are also big. If missing this financial support would probably mean like slowly closing the festival. So I'm a little bit afraid that this move, if it will be radical, will mean that they will kill a lot of realities, and that's maybe my frustration. I don't know what you think about this.
Well, I don't think that their aim is to kill, as I would say. So I think they will think of ways of how to I think they just want to innovate the financial system and somehow, as far as I know, they wanted to support about 3 networks maximum for now. So we will see who of the 3 will get the financing now. And I think they will then sit and watch and read the numbers and decide whether it's a good idea or not. But I don't think that there is less money, right? So the amount of money that is invested into the festivals will be rather larger, I think. So maybe I just don't believe that I wouldn't be afraid that much. I think that the aim is rather to find a more effective mode. But of course, I mean, like if there isn't a network is not a solution for everyone. And then on the other hand, it is also a problem sometimes with the funding institutions, is that they keep pushing us into something all the time. And they push us into these shelves that we sometimes don't want to be in. And of course, that is very problematic. And that is why it's good to buy a ticket and fly to Brussels and talk to them about it. And they will. So I mean, it's just. I think we don't know more information than you do. So I don't know. I just hope. That they will learn. And for us, the main thing is to be informed and in touch with them personally, and to know the information from them straight. Yeah. So I wish you the best of luck with your project, though. Hopefully it will be good.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, maybe? No. That's it. So this leaves me to thank Diana a lot to join us from Vis. And I wish her a pleasant and safe journey home, I believe, in a couple of days.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity to talk to you today, and hopefully there will be another occasion to meet live and have a coffee and a conversation person to person.
Thank you very much. Good luck with all your activities. It seems like you're a fantastic group of people, and I love the vibe, even through the online. So good luck with all the projects you're working on, guys. And thank you very much for inviting me. And please let's stay in touch. Can I come next year?
Of course, of course. I hopefully will be here, but
Yes. Okay.
no,
I'd
no,
love
no.
to
Yeah,
meet you
the
all
plan
in
is
person.
the plan is to survive and to be
Of
here
course.
next year. Hopefully
Yeah.
at the beginning of June already, as we normally are. Otherwise, at an alternative dates. Yeah.
Sure. And my contact is on the website. So if anyone from the audience is interested in any other information, please feel free to contact me. So yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll be in
Enjoy.
touch. Bye bye.
Thank you. And bye, Doris. Bye.
Hopefully Doris is with us still. We will now take hello. We
Hello, I'm
will
here.
now take a 20 minutes break, all of us, so we can refresh ourselves a little bit. So this means that we will be back at 1 p.m. exactly. Okay. See you later. Okay, now it should work. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? Okay, great. People are just coming in. They were finishing their coffee. They were finishing their coffee, you know, in great speed. So.
Very good.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
You're fine. Working at your
working. Yes.
Working day.
A working day at the office. Yeah. And how's the festival? It's your second day, no?
Yeah, it's the second day. We had a So welcome back, everyone. We now have the pleasure of online company of Doris Bauer, who is co-director of Vienna International Shorts Film Festival. She will talk a little bit about their very fresh experience with putting together an application for the Creative Europe Media Call for Film Festival Networks, which we already mentioned a couple of times during today's event. And they put together this application in May and are right now the same as Doc Alliance, waiting for the results. And as much as I remember from previous opportunities to learn about Vienna Shorts, is that the festival did other forms of collaboration way before this call came around. And so I will now invite Doris to speak a little bit about this experience and the previous experience of the festival in collaboration. And then I have a few questions for her and invite all of you already to think of questions you would like to ask to Doris later on.
Hello again, everyone. Thank you, Tanya, and thank you very much again for the invitation. I'm really sorry that I cannot be with you, Kino Otok, but yeah, next year. For me, it was very interesting listening to Diana and her project of the VOD platform and how it has evolved. I want to talk a bit about our cooperative projects and about the network application you already mentioned. But first, I want to introduce myself and our festival a bit. My name is Doris Bauer, and my festival is Vienna Shorts, the International Short Film Festival in Vienna, Austria. Since 2 years, I'm a festival director, together with my colleague Daniel Ebner. Some of you may know him. At the moment, we are preparing the next edition. It's from 27th of May till the 1st of June, 2021. It will be our 18th edition of Vienna Shorts. It's difficult times nowadays, so our last edition was online. It was, again, end of May, beginning of June. So this was quite a bad period. So the coronavirus shock hit us all worldwide. So I can tell you for now already that for the next year, we are planning a hybrid version of the festival. And to give you a quick overview about the festival, Vienna Shorts usually shows between 250 and 350 short films from all over the world at several venues in Vienna city center. The festival attracts in total more than 10,000 visitors in those 6 days and around 700 accredited artists, professionals, and critics. This year we had a bit more than 3,700 unique viewers in total and almost 40,000 film views during our online edition. And usually we have 700 accredited guests this year. We had almost 1,700. accredited guests from 67 countries worldwide. We screened 282 films in 56 short film programs online. I would also like to briefly mention our general program structure. It's divided into 5 distinct sections. It's selection. So films are officially selected from a pool of more than 5,000 submissions we get every year. The international section is divided in 2 parts. It's fiction and documentary. Fiction and documentary focuses on live action and documentary shorts, and we have animation avant-garde. It's about animations and experimental works. In the national section, we have the Austrian competition and the Austrian music video award. Our second section is called Expedition. In this segment, we deal with different aspects, for example, theme, a genre, or a region, or an aesthetic approach. Then we have Expansion. It focuses on live formats. This was quite difficult this year, so hopefully we can do some things next year, we will see. Interaction, it's for the educational programs and the professional exchange. So the industry program is here, positioned here. And we have the segment called Attraction with the festive events like the opening and the award galas, the receptions, the parties, and all the side programs. I would also like to briefly mention a project that has become important for us. It's our compliance guidelines for a fair international film festival, because we think that a film festival is not only a place for presentation, reflection, and exchange, but also bears some responsibilities towards its own team, towards the filmmakers, the artists with whom it works, but of course also towards the sponsors, the audience, and our cooperation partners as well. So we wrote those compliance guidelines. If you're interested, you can download the document on vienashorts.com. And in this document, we are also talking about collaborations and the importance for them for us. And regarding collaborations in general, the position of Vienna Shorts is quite clear for years now. So Vienna Shorts is strongly, I read this, the one paragraph now from this paper. So Vienna Shorts is strongly focusing on initiating, maintaining, and engaging in exchange with other film festivals on a national, European, and international level in order to increase its position as a European meeting point to facilitate circulation of audiovisual works and to increase efficiency in the usage of resources. Despite a certain level of competition between festivals worldwide, we are convinced that each festival will always be stronger in a collaborative and cooperative environment. Yeah, and Tanya, you already mentioned that we started early with cooperative projects. We have some other collaborations or associations to which we also belong. Besides the network you already mentioned, I want to just mention them briefly as well. So on the national level, we are members of the Association of Austrian Film Festivals. It's an association that Vienna Shorts is one of the founding members, and also we were longtime speakers for this association, which was established in 2011 and promotes the work of 20 Austrian film festivals. In 2016, on our initiative, the Austrian Film Festival report on the situation of film festivals in Austria was commissioned, which was really important for the Austrian politics and for funding, and just to have an overview about the situation of the Austrian film festivals. Vienna Shorts is also a member of the Short Film Conference. It's a worldwide platform for institutions that promote short filmmaking and short film presentation. On the European level, we are founding members of the project called Talking Shorts. Talking Shorts is an online film magazine dedicated to short films. Also, Diana mentioned that it's difficult to have some articles about documentaries. It's quite similar to shorts, maybe even worse, I don't know. But it's difficult to get the journalists to write about short films. So this is a project that deals with this problem. There is another project we're involved. It's called Be Short Now. Be Short Now is, there are several festivals involved in this joint initiative. It's Torino Short Film Market, Gijon International Film Festival, Go Short, Glasgow, Dresden, Encounters Festival, Shortwaves Festival. And it's has since 2019 been aiming to make the industry events of short film festivals more sustainable by recording panels, lectures, and workshops, and making all those events available online. And one project that we have been working on for years now is the Triangle Project. And I highlight this project here because for us, it is really important for establishing the European Short Film Network. That's the network we created together with other festivals, and I will talk about it a bit later. But this Triangle program was really important for us to establish this network. So Vienna Shorts developed this collaborative program exchange in 2013, so it's already 7 years old. Also in order to intensify the collaborations that had already been existing with numerous European and international film festivals. So this works like that. Like every year we invite 2 festivals to deal with a socio-political topic that we have defined and to curate a program for it. So together with the Vienna Shorts program, it's 3 programs then, and those 3 programs go on tour to all 3 festivals every year. Usually we travel with the program, so there is a discussion around those programs at each festival, and this really works very, very good. And in the past years, we have collaborated with short film festivals from Tampere, Uppsala, Winterthur, Hamburg, so a lot of international or European film festivals, definitely. Motorwoon, Odense, Glasgow, for example. And this initiative serves as one of our key elements for the European Short Film Network on the content-related level. Another aspect is the media grant. Since 2016, the festival has been supported annually by the media program of the European Union. And this support is very important for us. It's not only because of the 25,000 euro missing from our budget, but also because it has given us an important recognition at the European level, I would say. So it's this, and also the qualifications for the International Film Awards, like Academy Awards. We have this since 2016, the BAFTA Awards. This came in last year. The European Film Awards since 2 years, and the Austrian Film Awards since the beginning of its existence. And also this has brought us attention also from other sides, such as filmmakers and other festivals, definitely. So the European Short Film Network currently consists of 4 European short film festivals. It's the Internationalen Kurzfilmtage Oberhausen from Germany. It's Go Short International Short Film Festival from Nijmegen, Shortwaves Festival from Poland, and Vienna Shorts. The network, initiated by the Kurzfilmtage Oberhausen, was founded in 2018. So it's 2 years old now, with the ambition of jointly using technological developments to keep short film festivals sustainable for the future. I think this is really important. It's getting more important with the crisis we are in now, but as I said, this is 2 years old, so it was before Corona crisis hit us. In our contract, it's the cooperation agreement from the 2018. We already mentioned main goals for an active project-based network of short film festivals. And it says important is the development of a common European promotional activity strategy for European filmmaking, with the aim of taking sustainable measures within the European festival map. Our second goal is the development of innovative market access opportunities for professionals in the short film industry. So it's really focusing on the industry, and including the development of a set of online tools for professionals. that's getting more important nowadays. And important is also the accessibility of short films in generally for a wide-ranging audience Europe-wide. And the fourth point was the expansion of the network towards other European short film festivals. That's also a thing for us, I would say. So the technological basis for the network is the common festival management software called FilmChief. All the festivals use this software. We are working with this already for years now. And yeah, all the film festivals work, all the 4 film festivals work with this software for their submissions, for the credits, for the films, all the guest relations, or the accreditations, everything runs through this software. So this is the technological basis for us. And as I mentioned, due to the global pandemic, the Networks Festival were hit hard. Like all the 4 of us are in this period of time, like March till May. So we were forced to act really fast, and therefore, together with the FilmChief developer, we worked on a new tool. So we have developed and implemented an online alternative to the analog festivals within this very short period of time. And we all use the beta version of this streaming hub that is based on this own database system, and yeah, is still developed further now. So based on this, on the already existing features, the new streaming hub also allows for broader accessibility, and is, yeah, as I said, currently being further developed by us, the network members, but also by other festivals that are using it now. Yeah, and the idea is to create a future-oriented festival infrastructure online. That's about the technological point or aspect of our network. Ideologically, I would say the network aspires to be an active alliance based on trust and commitment, expressed through shared projects. So it's a project-based network. And the joint projects are designed to increase the visibility of short films. Yes, definitely. And to strengthen the professionalization of festival work. As I mentioned, the industry is really important for the network. And to initiate and yeah, deepen matters concerning the short film industry. So our plans are to working together with joint programming, shared programs, and maybe shared online competition and common online festival platform. So that's the idea behind it. Structurally, I would say the network is characterized by strong ties and sustainability internally. So it's based on similar ideas by the joint management system and the streaming hub, and also shared costs. Yes. As well as effectiveness and professionalism externally. So through common film programs, digital marketing tools, combined audiences, and professional networks. Yeah, so we sent our application for the call on the 21st of May. Yesterday I called our media desk woman, and she mentioned that usually the results they have to be at our end at least in 6 months' time. So I expect them in October because I'm an optimist, but probably it gets November, we don't know. So we have to wait and see. Yeah, in any case, we are curious, and we keep our fingers crossed. And yeah, let's hope for the good result from media. So that's from my side for the moment. So if you have any questions, yeah, please.
Yeah. I would start with a couple of questions. First of all, if you could describe a little bit further on how was the actual process of applying to this first call of Creative Europe Media for film festivals networks. And I would really like to hear how did you approach that, you know, because as you said, it was an already established network, but I imagine that you did reconsider or regroup, restructure while applying?
Yeah, we started talking about the application already in autumn last year. So the first problem was the 4th festival, because I mentioned the 4 festivals involved in the network now, but we founded the network in 2018, and there was another festival involved. It was the British Berwick Arts and Media Festival. And yeah, with the Brexit, we had a problem because Berwick wasn't eligible anymore from the media side. So we started to look for a 4th European festival, because yeah, the network needs at least 4 member festivals. So we started looking around, and Shortwaves Festival also started to use FilmChief, like the management software I mentioned. And they started using it this year. So this seemed to be perfect, and they were interested to participate. So it was actually quickly solved, I would say. But the next step was deciding about the coordinating festival. That's what you need for the call or for the application. So one festival has to take responsibility and take over the submission. I mean, organizationally and also legally. After some discussions and considerations on our side, we offered ourselves to the other festivals, and yeah, they accepted our proposal. So yeah, we are the coordinating festival of this application now, and so this was solved as well. But then I would say the really stressful part came, because yeah, parallel to the own festivals, all 4 festivals, as I mentioned, usually take place in this period from March to May. An application had to be negotiated and written in these, I don't know, stressful times. We had to reorganize our festival, and like going online, it's really, really difficult, I would say. So squeezing in additional this media application in a normal festival year would be really crazy, or a challenge at least. And then we wrote some parts, and then we had to rewrite everything, because yeah, the Corona crisis happened, and like some parts changed. I mean, we thought about project and things, but it wasn't the right thing to submit anymore. So we had to rewrite everything. And then the deadline was postponed from the call. So it was just a few days before our festival starts. Yeah, so this was really crazy, I would say. It was crazily stressful. But I hope that in the end, everybody was happy with the final text. And yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but yeah, nobody could plan the Corona crisis.
I also hope that you had a chance to rest a little bit over the summer after.
Yes, the summer was really good.
Good to know that. So I was wondering also, did you include in this joint application any joint activities, actions which address audience development? So how do you approach audience development question within this new network?
Yeah, audience, talking about the audience. Yeah, it's difficult, but we think, yeah, it's our experience is that usually we are in the cinema, so we know our audience quite well. Usually it's industry audience, but it's also the audience here, the local audience in Vienna. But I think as festivals, we have another. There is another space we can enter, and this is this online space. And going online means you have to think about your audience and reaching out for new audiences. And I mentioned we had just a few, not a few, it was a lot, but for an offline festival, it was a lot. We had 600, 700 accredited guests before, and now we had 1,700 all over the world in a lot of countries internationally. And so it's definitely a new audience for us. So reaching out for new audiences while going online, that's important, I would say. It's an important thought from the beginning. But we have some other activities in our plan, like shared or joint activities. We plan for the next couple of months, and hopefully we can start working on it or implementing our projects with the beginning of next year. So it's about going to new audiences, reaching out to them with I don't know, distribution of film programs or monthly activities on maybe popular dates like the Short Film Day, or we definitely plan to use our online platform more, and also for festival programs, but also for new things like the online competition I mentioned, or thematically curated programs. So I think there is an opportunity to reach out for another audience, and I think we should keep thinking of the new possibilities we have, but also maybe some other perspective on this audience, because we have to think about, I don't know, some other things than we usually do in a cinema, about the attention span of the audience in the online world, for example. Do we really program short films in like presenting them in one program, or is it more to focus on a single film? Or a few other questions are out there, and we have to find some new answers to them. So it's quite an exciting time, I would say.
Okay. Is there a question from the audience, maybe? Yes, there is a question from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Doris. It's Igor from Animateca.
Hello, Igor.
Nice to see you there.
I can't see you. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Hey, I really liked what you did with the 4 or 5 festivals already a year ago, and that was like a very kind of curated thematic program, a very political one. So
yes.
I felt at the time that this is the right way to go, not having like, you know, how to say, like topics like ecology or. And I think in your case, it was really on the state of Europe today, on migration, on the rise of new fascism. So my question is, like, how much was this a common project, or it was like curated by one of the festival programmers, and then, and if I get it right, it was screened at each festival, right? The same program, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So last year we had a topic called Courage. And the Triangle program, it was together with Motovun Film Festival and Odense Film Festival. So, and I think that's the one you referred to. The year before, the focus was We Need to Disagree. And so every year we have a different topic or a different theme, and we invite other festivals to work on this with us. 2 years ago, it was the La Alternativa Barcelona Film Festival, and the second one, it was Glasgow 2 years ago. Yes, it was Glasgow Short Film Festival, and it's always, for us, it's important. We think that we want to be a political festival, so it's very important to, I don't know, stand up for important things for us, and I think. Yeah, you mentioned Courage, our focus last year. It was important to say, okay, we are courage. We want to encourage the audience. We want to encourage ourselves a bit. Like in this project, we asked the festivals to program their own programs. Like they are looking for a theme that really fits to our main topic, and they work on one program that fits in this theme, and all 3 programs then are screened in every festival, like all the 3 festivals. So then it really works as an focus for a film festival, and you can we had some great discussions and different discussion. That is really important, because you have different audiences. You you can see those free programs in Vienna, and then you go to Mutterwohn, and it's a totally different situation. Just the screening is a different situation, and then there are other people and other discussions and other talks, and then it goes to Odense, and it's something else again, and that's, I think, really important to involve the audience and to involve the people and to start talking about really important things. And yeah, that's what it is about, I think.
Okay, any other questions maybe? Okay. So maybe just a final thought from what you're saying, Doris. I see you are in a way optimistic, you know, about the developments, the new developments that became possible or maybe even necessary, you know, due to the changes we lived through the last months. And I was just wondering, you know, apart from what you said already, you know, what is your plan, you know, to stay a sustainable film festival, you know, and a sustainable network and so on? So how do you see the vision of the network, you know, if it gets supported or, you know, hopefully it gets supported? And how do you see it in, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years? You know, what is your long-term hope or plan for it?
Yeah, I think it's we cannot avoid the current developments anyway, so we are in the middle of it, and everything is changing so fast. I mean, now at the moment, I think that like all the established rules, for example, for short film festivals worldwide, they are really questioned at the moment. So I think there are a lot of changes going on all the time, and especially now, I think it's really, really fast. But I think even before the virus, the questions about the future of cinema and film festivals arose that are now only becoming much more urgent in a way. So how to deal with the confusion about thousands of films going online. So it's really difficult for film festivals to deal with it. Or about the industry traveling from one place to the other. I mean, the environmental thoughts about that. Or, yeah, how should film festivals respond to these developments, and how can we stick with our expertise in the selection and distribution of films in the future? So it's really difficult to have some new thoughts about that. Because we have some core tasks and we want to fulfill them. So I don't know, helping films to get more visibility or more access for an audience and reaching out for a new audience. And it's really difficult. And I have to say, I don't have any ready-made answer to that. So it's a really difficult question. And I think it's important for festivals to find an answer for themselves to those questions. But yes, I think for us at least, it is important to face all those challenges and problems together with others, and with others who are also hit by those problems, to put it like that. And I think that's somehow an answer. I mean, it's always a collaboration, and it's never working against each other from my side, but I guess that's also a personal choice or a part of the personality and also the identity of a festival. So I think for us, it's quite clear. It's a collaboration and working together in all those questions, like, is it going online or is it the climate crisis? Working together always helps.
Yeah, so thank you for this answer, which was also the perfect conclusion, I would say, for today's event. And sadly, we have to part, but as with Diana, I hope to meet you in person as soon as possible.
Hope to.
Yes, and we invite, of course, the audience here and the audience online to follow your activities as well. And best of luck with everything, with all your plans.
Thank you so much, and have a good festival. You have still a few days to run, so good luck with everything.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and this also concludes our meeting here. And I wish you all a nice days at the festivals. At the festival, it is Thursday today, so we have 3 days to go in Isola, and then we follow with activities in Ljubljana and online. Thank you for coming.